What is going on, everyone? We have a news-filled day for you today on the podcast, including updates on what's been going on with YouTube running so poorly recently. Rockstar is suing Remedy for having a similar logo, and Ubisoft wants you to get used to not owning games. All this and more on today's Level 1 podcast. If I can click the intro. Okay, good morning, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, the 16th of January, 2024, and the big thaw has begun here in Washington State after having almost an entire week of frigid temperatures. Today, we're supposed to start melting off, and it's funny because my wife and I put out like a bowl of nuts, like peanuts, or maybe a bowl of water, or both, every morning for the local wildlife to come by, and we get birds and squirrels. We've had a bowl of water that froze 3 days ago. I just kind of like tossed it out of the bowl, and it has sat in a frozen chunk on the ground for 3 days and has not melted. So we're going to see if it melts today, because they're claiming it's supposed to be above freezing temperatures today. This would be the first time in like a week, so I guess we'll see. Anyway, welcome to the show, and welcome to a news-packed event, because today we have more news stories for you than I think I've had in a long time, like 5 different stories to discuss. Obviously, that's a good thing. That'll be the meat of the broadcast today. But there's other things as well. Updates on the current playthroughs that I'd like to talk about. An update on DSP Throwback. That's a very positive one. And other stuff. So, I hope you're all doing well. Remember, today is a full streaming day of gameplay here on DSPGaming. But we're going to have a special stream tomorrow night, the second ever family night. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And we are essentially in the final push until the first true big new releases hit for 2024. Although, there's been many minor different releases that have come out over the course of this month. Really, the big ones are going to be Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth and Tekken 8. And those are coming 1 week from this Friday on the 26th of January. And so, I hope you guys are gearing up and ready. I am. I'm excited to have 2 new releases to juggle that whole final week of the year. It's actually going to be like 6 straight days of me juggling those new releases, which is obviously very exciting. So, hope you guys are ready for that. In the meantime, it is the final push for the games that I've been playing now for a bit. Baldur's Gate 3, we're approaching 50 hours. In fact, tomorrow we'll pass the 50-hour mark of that game, and we're still in Act 1. Do you guys understand why I didn't want to play that game in September? I mean, I literally wouldn't have even gotten 50 hours by like December. We would still be in Act 1 after 4 months. That's why I waited. You know, that's the kind of game you really need to dedicate nonstop time to it, and I didn't have that time in the fall. Resident Evil 0 Remake, excuse me. We are pushing towards the end here, right? We are in the end game. We're in the final area, although I checked my original playthrough, and it looks like we've got about maybe 4 to 4.5 hours left. And being that I'm an interactive streamer, likely that means we're not beating the game today, unless by some freak occurrence, like I just turbo through everything and beat it. I don't think we're beating it today. I think we'll need like another stream of it to wrap it up over the weekend coming up. Sea of Stars is kicking up more into high gear because I'm playing it more now. As of today, I've played 10 hours. As of tonight, it'll be 12. And I am playing it at least 2 times next week. So hopefully, you know, we'll get even further in. If not 3, we'll see. But I'm hoping to get near the end of it by the time that we get into the other new releases, right? So those are the games I'm kind of juggling. Of course, Street Fighter 6 we are now in the finale. We're going to have 2 more streams of Street Fighter 6 next week, and that is it for the game for now as we head into Tekken 8 Mania, right? So, for very, very much, this is kind of the end of the remnants, leftover playthroughs, and stuff that's been going on from 2023, and we're going to head full force into all the new content for 2024 in just a little bit over a week, okay? So, as I always say, the best place to start is the beginning. Before we get to news and all of that, let's recap what happened yesterday in my content, and some updates on DSP Throwback, which I'm happy about, and then let us jump into the schedule for the week so you know what to expect, and then let's do news, because the news is a big segment today, okay? So, first of all, yesterday, great streaming day, had a fun show here where we talked about all kinds of new stuff, but the big news was basically that DSP Throwback has been partnered. We're going to talk a little bit more of that in a minute, so we won't get too heavily into that right now, and odds and ends and some news stories and things like that. First stream yesterday was Baldur's Gate 3. Now, we are still in the Underdark. I mean, this game is ridiculous with the amount of content that it has. We've been in the Underdark for like half of the game. Seriously, if you take a look at all the hours I've played it, no exaggeration, we've probably been in the Underdark for like 15 plus hours, if not longer. So that's pretty wild, and we're still going. We were in the Forge area. We had the fight against Nier, Nier, however you say his name. It was the second time I did it. This time I did it much better. We went further towards the Forge. We actually did a bunch of fights. We got to the Forge. The boss fight there was insanely difficult and very annoying because it's once again a gimmick fight. Something that there's no way you could know how it works until you get to the fight and you do trial and error a couple of times to figure it out. Then you're, oh, okay. But it's just annoying because I had an hour left on the stream and I'm like, what are the chances I won't beat this boss in an hour? I barely made it. I had to stay an extra 15 minutes to do it because that's how they've designed this game. It's not like you can just understand the combat mechanics and just win. You can't. It's like every fight, there's some new thing introduced, some new little nuance or nonsense, and you got to sit there, try, oh, I failed, try again, failed, try, okay, I finally figured it out on the 3rd try. Do I want to do an hour for every fight? Not really, but that's how the game is designed, okay? So, it is what it is. The thing is, I am still much enjoying the playthrough because of you guys hanging out, engaging, and all of that. So let's keep it rolling for this next week. This will be the final major week where I play it as a major game. Then it's going to go on the back burner for a bit when I play new releases, okay? So, we did that. We finished the Forge, but now we have a little bit of extra stuff to do in it. Like I have to decide what the second item is I want to craft, and also I guess there's a little side quest to do there, and then we're essentially done with the Forge and we continue on. I think then we're on to the Mountain Pass, which is the final content for Act 1, if you can believe it. Yeah, I think Act 1, all in all, is going to be like 60 hours. It's insane. Game in itself, right? Okay, last night, Sea of Stars was very fun. Last night, we got to a haunted island called Wraith Isle, and it's just full of zombies and ghosts and new enemy types. In addition to that, better music, new game design, you know, with the level design, art design, because it is like a spooky atmosphere. And we got a new party member, which is really cool. The party member is quite good, named Sarai. She's a ninja. And pretty awesome gameplay mechanics with her. Only used her for a little bit, but actually really enjoying it. And it was very chill fun. So, if you're into older RPGs like Chrono Trigger, Super Mario RPG, which just had a remake out, Suikoden, Golden Sun, you know, any of those ring a bell or sound good and resonate with you, this is a great game and a great playthrough to watch, plus lots of chill vibes with the audience. I'm really enjoying it. However, admittedly, it's the playthrough I'm doing that has the absolute least amount of people showing up for stream, the absolute least amount of views on the videos on demand. I mean, here we are, over 12 hours since I uploaded. Those videos don't even have 200 views on them. This is Game of the Year indie game. And this is after so many people yelling at me, you need to play more indie games. Okay, I'm playing one right now, so where are you? Right? For all the people who always complain that Darkside Phil doesn't play indie games, you got to show up when I play them then. You can't just whine and complain and ask for something nonstop and then not watch it. You know what I'm saying? I will say this, there's 1 or 2 people who actually have been coming by and directly supporting Sea of Stars, and I really appreciate that. For those of you who are actually coming by and saying, listen, I wanted this, I asked for it, I'll hang out and support. Thank you for that, okay? So I appreciate that very much. Now, had a great time with it, looking forward to more, and that's good because we're playing more tonight. So here's the deal. Today, a podcast full of news. We have like 5 major news stories to cover, and a few updates. I'm going to cover the updates in a second. After that, it's Resident Evil 0 Remastered Endgame, and as I explained, we're basically pushing into that final area. The factory area is the final area of the game, but it took me over 4 hours to beat it in my original run. Being that now I'm an interactive streamer who talks with you guys and everything, likely it's going to take me even longer, and I think I have to backtrack, and I don't know how viable that is, but I left a bunch of valuable items. Like, I left like 8 Magnum rounds, 2 red herbs, and other valuable items that I absolutely need. I left it back in the labs, and those labs have enemies, so I don't know if I can go back and just grab the stuff if the enemies are gone, or if they stay, and if that's the case, I don't think I can ever get those items. Like, I think I'm screwed, and I'll never be able to get them. I guess we'll have to figure that out. Excuse me. This should be fun. I hope that you guys will hang out with me today for Resident Evil 0 Remastered. And you know what? Here's the truth, okay? Out of all the games I'm currently playing, Resident Evil 0 has actually got the most attention. And what I mean by that is the streams, usually more people watching. The videos on demand, usually more people watching. The thing is with Baldur's Gate 3, listen, I do enjoy the game. I enjoy the interactive streams, and we've got a regular crowd for it. But the crowd is small. Like, I'm uploading those Baldur's Gate 3 videos, and no exaggeration, I think some of them right now, from yesterday's batch, don't even have 300 views yet. You know? Basically, I keep telling you guys with these long, drawn-out RPGs, this is exactly why I can't just play RPGs all the time. They just don't retain interest at all. Right now, this channel, compared to last month, is actually way low on views because I'm not playing any hot new releases or anything like that, you see? That's just how it is. You know, and nothing you could do about that. When you're playing lengthy RPGs, they don't retain interest. They never have. You know, it's never have I ever played like a super long RPG, and here I am part 40, and I get people showing up to watch. Never. It's just, you know, people watch it as like a slow burn kind of a deal. Resident Evil is getting way more attention than anything else, and of course, now we're at the end of it, because these classic Resident Evils are very short. You know, in fact, how many parts are we into Resident Evil 0? I don't even know. Looks like 12? 12. We're 12 parts in. And, you know, with only a few parts left, yeah, we're going to wrap this up very soon. It is a shorter game, for sure. I sense a presence near me. A disruptive presence that also is very cute. I wonder what it could possibly be. I sense something in the air, or perhaps in the atmosphere, that may be attempting to derail my content this morning. I wonder what it could possibly be. I was like, oh, Jasper Kitty. How are you today, Jasper Kitty? Jasper, are you excited for family night tomorrow? Our second ever family night stream. Are you excited for this? What a nut. See, I told you, he stands on me fine. He doesn't dig his claws in. But when Kat was here last Wednesday, he's not used to it, so he's jumping on her lap, and he's, like, digging his claws in and hurting her legs. So what she needs to do, if he just calms down, and you just, like, relax, he won't use his claws. He'll just walk on you flat, and then you're all right. But if he, you know, if you rile him up, then he goes, and you're like, my legs. So you gotta be careful. Anyway, so Resident Evil 0 Remastered today. Will we beat it? Very unlikely, unless I get, like, super lucky and I turbo through. Likely we'll need 2 streams to beat it. We'll see. Tonight, it will be more Sea of Stars on my late night stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, okay? It's going to be a good one because now we're wrapping up the Necromancer's Dungeon, and after that, apparently we're going to have the ability to go to the mansion, the Haunted Mansion, and fight whoever this Dweller guy is or whatever they're talking about. I don't know if it's like Dracula or something. I guess we're going to see. Tonight, it should be a good stream, and I hope you'll join me for that. So tomorrow is my final consecutive streaming day of the week. And tomorrow it's going to be Baldur's Gate 3 again. And the fun part is we'll wrap up the Forge, do the final content there, and hopefully be able to move on to what people are saying is the final area of Act 1, the Mountain Pass, which apparently has multiple story elements and things to it. So I'm excited to see what that has in store for us because I have no idea. And then tomorrow night, yes, it is indeed official. Tomorrow night's late night stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, will be Family Night, our second ever kind of hangout session, Q&A with the family, me, Kat, and Jasper. And, you know, it's funny because people are like, well, would you like to have a topic or whatever for it? And I'm like, well, what kind of a topic would we have? He's purring so nicely right now. Oh, nice calm purring. He loves it. Anyway, I mean, yeah, here's the thing. When Kat appeared last week for the first time in 5.5 years, people were shocked. They couldn't believe it. They were like, holy crap, your wife's on stream? Like, yeah, you know. Something in the works for a long time. I told you I had an open door policy. We had a great time doing it. She absolutely loved it and wants to come back. Now, here's the thing. No, we're not doing gameplay or anything like that. This is just meant to be another nighttime hangout session. The first gameplay we're planning on doing is when Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth comes out, and we're going to work on that virtual island in Hawaii and build that community together. That's what we want to do to start. So you guys sit here, oh, do co-op, do this, do that. You can stop. That's not going to happen. We're not dropping everything to play games we're not interested in. You know, like I said, this is a slow process to ease her into my content so that she gets used to appearing on camera, she feels comfortable, and she has a good time. Ultimately, if she's not having a good time, there's no point in doing it. And that's the thing. She had a really good time last week, and she wants to come back for a similar kind of stream, okay? Now, what some people have said is, well, would you have predetermined topics, right, and things? And I guess the answer there is, yeah, possibly. Right? Like, maybe what we should do, because this was actually a suggestion by OP Boone. So shout out to him, because I actually screen capped it, but now I'm remembering it before we even get started with the news, is that maybe what I should do is set up a thread just for tomorrow's stream, and people would be able to post up questions in the thread, and I could approve the questions, so that way we have something to go through. So, yes, we'll be taking questions from contributors, you know, shout outs for contributions. Yes, we'll take some questions from live chat. But then if it kind of gets slow or dies down, we can go to the thread and we can pull questions from the thread as well. So we always have stuff to talk about, right? Now, as for specific topics, no, we don't have any specific topics right now to really address. You know, the one thing that happened notably in the last week was that we played the Tekken 8 demo together last Thursday. And I bet Kat would like to talk a bit about that, about what she thought about it, because she played the 2 modes that are available in that demo, and she has different opinions on each one. So that would be a fun topic, but that's only going to be, what, a few minutes, you know? So, so I think what I'm going to do literally right now, okay, is I'm going to go to the main channel page of DSP Gaming. I'm going to go to the community tab, and I'm going to post up a thread right now. Hello, everyone. This thread is being posted for you to respond to and post up questions that you'd like to ask Kat and I during our second ever Family Night Chill Q&A stream. This stream will take place the night of Wednesday, January 17th, 2024 at 6:45 p.m. PST. Your questions here will be referenced live during the show when we need more content to respond to. I will review all submitted questions and approve the ones that are fit for the show beforehand. Thank you and good luck. There you go. Done. So I'm just going to post that up. That's a public thread right now on the main channel page, community tab of DSP Gaming. Please post up if you have some questions you'd like to ask us. Now, keep in mind, if you can be there live, then you can ask live. But if you're not able to attend the stream live, for example, OP Boone had specifically said, I'm not able to attend live, but I'd still like to ask a question and see if you can answer it. That would be the thread for you to post up in, okay? So please do, all right? And I guess we'll see how it goes and go from there. Now, after tomorrow night, likely we're not going to do another stream until Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth comes out. Now, if my wife decides against that and wants, hey, I wanted to come on earlier, or, you know, there's a certain date by which she wants to come on, that it's totally up to her. I want you guys to understand that's always been my policy. It's her call. Like, all this week I was asking her, are you interested in coming on the stream? And at first she was like, I don't know yet. And then I asked her, like, maybe 2 days into this week, and she was like, maybe. And then I asked her, like, yesterday, and she was like, yes, actually, I really want to come on again on Wednesday night. That was fun. So there you go. You know, it's up to her. If she didn't want to come on this week, she wouldn't have been on the stream this week. That's her call. So let's see what happens after tomorrow night and go from there. But it should be a fun time. I hope that you guys will come by and hang out with us tomorrow night on the late stream. Now, I'm off from streaming on Thursday. Very busy day on Thursday. It's our day now for us to play catch up. We have a million appointments and things we have to do. We have to go like stock up on certain things that we're out of. It's a super busy day, bouncing all around. We'll talk all about it when we come back on Friday. And Friday will be the Level 1 podcast, Baldur's Gate 3, and Friday Night Fights. And this Friday Night Fights is special because for one night only, I'm bringing back Zangief. I haven't used that character in a million years, right? And I'm going to actually study some Zangief videos to see what the top players have been doing with him. And try to get some wins. I don't know how well I'll do, but it'll be my kind of like my final Zangief stream for Street Fighter 6 for quite some time, okay? Saturday will be likely the conclusion of Resident Evil 0 Remake, and probably Saturday night more Sea of Stars. Sunday is React Day, where I'm going to be doing my usual React show, DSP versus the Internet. But I am planning, and this is one of the big updates here, on possibly doing my first ever stream over on DSP Throwback on Sunday night. So basically Sunday would be a break from DSPGaming, right? It would actually be a stream on DSP Reacts and a stream on DSP Throwback, right? So what am I planning on doing on DSP Throwback? Well, that's up to you. Because right now, on DSP Throwback, which I guess I should give a shameless plug to now, youtube.com/@DSP Throwback. That's how you find it. On that channel, there's a poll on the community tab right now where people are voting, what would you like to see for the first stream on that channel? And there's three options. Option number one, a late night hangout chill session where we kind of reminisce about the old days of being a YouTuber. I'll talk about what it was like 15 years ago, uploading videos, monitoring that content, updating your channel page, which was dramatically different. It was like having your own little social network back then. That's how cool YouTube channels used to be before they completely changed them much for the worse. What the atmosphere was like on YouTube, talking with people in comments, and what the overall reactions were, what my mentality was making that kind of content years ago. And it would be Q&A where people will ask me questions about that stuff and I'll answer them. You know, I'm one of the few people who's been making content for this long, this consistently, that could talk about what it was like back in the day. Now, if people wanted, I could also do a little bit of retro gameplay that night. Maybe go on the Switch Online dashboard and pick a retro game from back in the day and play it for a little bit. Not that it would be the meat of the stream at all. I think it would be more of a retro hangout session. Okay, so that's option number one. Option number two would be for me to do a live React stream where I will watch back and react to the original Final Fantasy 13 playthrough as now uploaded and improved on DSP Throwback. Okay? Or option number three, I would do a live React stream to the content of the Red Dead Redemption 1 playthrough as uploaded to DSP Throwback. As of right now, Final Fantasy has 10 parts. So you're talking, 5 hours. That's a ton of content. Red Dead now has 3 parts, but by this weekend, it should actually have 5 or 6 parts, because I think tomorrow will be part 4, and then Friday will be part 5, and then Sunday would be part 6. So yeah, so there would be at least 3 hours of Red Dead 1 to react to over there. So those are the options. And just so you guys know, that poll went live last night over on DSP Throwback. And what I'd like to do very quickly is check on the status of it to let you guys know what's going on with that. It would help if I actually type the address in correctly. So, at DSP Throwback, there it is. Oop, didn't type. Fucking piece of shit. I'm clicking here. Oh my god, this thing is fighting me. At DSP Throwback. Jesus Christ. It's fighting me. Okay, here it is. And if I go to the community tab on the page. Okay, so here it is. Hello all. Big update today as the channel has become partnered. Be sure to check out the big announcement video. I'm doing my first ever stream here next week. I need your feedback. Which of the below 3 options would you like to see as my first ever stream? Okay, vote now and thank you for your input. So, taking a look at the current results, 242 votes. Last place is me reacting to Final Fantasy 13. Am I surprised? No. Final Fantasy 13 is pretty boring. Although, admittedly, I think the first 2 hours, for me to react to just the intro of the game wouldn't be that bad. It's once you get into, like, the next 3, 4, 5 hours that it gets grindy and boring. The first couple hours funny, because there's funny stuff going on. You're introduced to the characters for the first time. The commentary would probably be much better. For almost a neck-and-neck tie, all right? The Chill Retro Night, or reacting to Red Dead Redemption. Chill Retro Night has 42% of the vote, Live react to Red Dead is 44% of the vote because there's only 242 votes right now. 1% is like 2 votes. So no exaggeration, less than 5 votes are determining that poll. So you have time to vote until the weekend to determine what you would like to see as the first stream over there. Way more potential for people to vote, that's for sure. So if you haven't yet, please head over and vote on what you'd like to see as the first stream on DSP Throwback. Now this all goes hand in hand with the fact that DSP Throwback is a partner channel on YouTube now. Right now, you click the join button, and you can actually become a member of the channel, and you can actually see the emotes there. This is literally the first time I've seen these emotes. It's me as Ryu and me as Ken. I've never seen those before on the YouTube screen. I just uploaded them. That's pretty funny, and you can see you'll get different loyalty badges of all different colors to show how long you've been a supporter of DSP Throwback. It starts off as red, then it goes silver, then it goes gold, then it goes diamond blue, then purple, green, well, pink, green, and dark purple. So all those different colors for the different levels of, or different lengths you've been a supporter of the channel. It's pretty neat. Now, in addition, you could do super chats and you could do super thanks on that channel. However, it's very limited what you can do because some of the videos are not eligible for that because they were claimed by Square Enix. Like, no exaggeration, like half of the stupid videos of Final Fantasy are claimed. And I'm trying to dispute them to get Square Enix to release them so they can be monetized, but it's going to be a long and arduous process, all right? You can leave a super thanks on any video that's not claimed, so that's the whole Red Dead playthrough, any of the vlogs, and some of the Final Fantasy videos. And in fact, thank you, because one person so far actually did a super thanks overnight. Thank you to the one person. You tested the waters, and it works, because the super thanks went through, and I actually highlighted the comment and responded and said thank you very much. So, please consider checking out the channel, voting on the stream you want to see this weekend, probably Sunday night, and also consider supporting the channel in some way. Well, who will be the first member of DSP Throwback? I guess we're going to see. All right? Anyway, excuse me. There you go. That's that. And then, of course, the rest of the next week, we'll balance all the gameplay. We'll try to wrap up Resident Evil if we didn't beat it. Try to get as far as I can in Sea of Stars. We'll have our final send-off stream for Street Fighter 6 to say goodbye. For now, anyway. And get as far as we possibly can in Baldur's Gate 3 before we hit the new releases, and it goes more on a back seat status is what I meant to say. Like, basically what will happen is Baldur's Gate 3 will basically hit the back shelf and maybe be like a night stream for a while. Because definitely I'm going to have Tekken 8 and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth as the main streams for a bit. And then Baldur's Gate will be kind of tossed in there every once in a while for variety, but those other games are absolutely going to get more attention, okay? So there you go. Spider Dijon, would you like me to ban you now or later? Because if you're going to insult people who want to support my channels, I'm just going to fucking kick you right out of the chat. Because you're being a dick, and I'm not putting up with your bullshit. Seriously. How many people would like that? See me ban him right now for being a jerk to everybody. Right? It's like, oh, this is supposed to be a good announcement. Phil can now actually get support on this channel that a lot of effort has been going into so far this month. There's going to be the first stream ever this weekend, and this guy's going to be a toxic dick. And yeah, like try to make fun of people who want to support the new channel effort. No, you're not. No, you're not. Sorry. You can take a fucking hike. Okay. Yeah, he said a fucked up thing, and I'm not putting up with that bullshit. You guys know me, man. I'm not. I'm just gonna... He's lucky that I'm being nice to him and not just doing it without even saying nothing. Because I was just fucking... He apologized. Okay, good. You better. You better. Really, I mean, I told you guys, I have so much going on this year. All these new initiatives and everything. I've changed my titles. I've changed my thumbnails. I got a brand new channel. Doing the content you guys have wanted for the longest time. Right? I'm working. I'm working. No one can say that DSP is fucking lazy with all this shit I'm working on right now. How could you possibly say that unless you're just a liar? Oh, wait, that's what they always did anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Okay. Anyway, I'm too nice of a guy. I should have just wiped him from existence, right? And then just moved on. But the thing is, I'm a nice guy. And I don't want to do that. I don't... As much as people want to act like I'm LTG, I'm nothing like LTG. I don't revel in banning people. I don't want to moderate my community, I would prefer not to. I would prefer to just have a chill, relaxing atmosphere everywhere we go and not have to put up with this nonsense. But then when people say toxic stuff like that, it's like, dude, I can't just let that go unchecked, you know? Okay. Jesus would have banned him? Well, there you go. Jesus would have taken the palms for Palm Sunday, and he would have beat him. Remember that story that Jesus went through the temple? Is that the story? It was like Palm Sunday, and he went to the temple, and all these people were doing like commerce in the temple, like they were selling stuff, and he's like, this is not supposed to be here. So he took the reeds, the Palm Sunday reeds, and he was beating the vendors with the reeds. Remember that? No one wants to remember that story. I remember it. I totally remember it. But no one wants to remember that one. All right. Fallen Angels, it's good to have you back, although it's funny because Fallen Angel says, I haven't been on a live stream in a while. Wow, it's amazing to see your number of members. Yeah, but just so you know, Fallen Angels, it's not as good as it looks. Basically, here's what's happened, and we didn't know about this until it happened. YouTube is very different from Twitch when it comes to gifted memberships. On YouTube, when someone gifts a sub, immediately it gets handed out, and you get credit for it. Here on YouTube, listen to this. Basically, it sits in limbo. And unless someone logs into the account and claims the membership, you don't get credit for it. No exaggeration. I have around 400 to 500 gifted memberships that I haven't gotten paid for, and it looks like I'm not going to get paid for. Because last week we had 400 to 500 gifted ones, and they went out, and then I was like looking at my revenue. I'm like, it's not counted. Why is this not counted towards my revenue? And I contacted YouTube over the last week about it, and they said, oh yeah, so the way our partnership works is, unless someone actually actively is there to claim it, you don't get credit for it, and it's going to be refunded to the person who bought it. And I'm like, well, how the hell does that have anything to do with me? How is that fair to the person who bought them? Because you know that person certainly wasn't intending that they were going to get refunded. Why would they have bought them then, right? So it really does suck that YouTube always is behind the 8 ball with this stuff, and they don't really try to stay in line with what everyone else is doing. It's like they added gifted memberships, but they're not even half functional compared to Twitch's. And now I look amazing. I'm like, wow, look at all the memberships Phil has, but I'm not getting anything from them. Like, no exaggeration. Again, today I checked my revenue on the channel, and it claims, oh, your revenue this month is way down compared to December. But not if I got this. If you paid me for this, then I would be great. But you won't do it. They won't do it. Anyway, so that being said, because we're about to move on to a little bit about DSP throwback. Well, actually, we already talked about DSP throwback. We're actually just going to do game news now. But before we do that, guys, please support the streams if you can. Right now, I'm going to be very honest with you. Gifted memberships probably won't help the channel because it seems like we hit a level that if you gift a membership, it's going to go to someone who might not accept it, and then I get nothing for it, and you're going to just get a refund. So I would recommend today, if you're going to become a member yourself, yes, please do. If you'd like to do a super chat or a super sticker or a super thanks on a video, yes, please do. That would help a ton. Or if you'd like to do a tip, that would help as well. Any of those methods are great ways to support the channel. I would actually hold off on the gifted memberships right now since YouTube doesn't seem to want to work properly. Okay? Okay. So, all right, Spider Dijon, I've had enough. Goodbye. Don't come back. Really, I've had enough now. Good night. Good night and good luck. Get the fuck out. Okay. So continuing on, let's now get to the news, ladies and gentlemen. It's your favorite segment, and of course my favorite segment, and everyone's favorite segment. Cool. Story number 1. It is official. Street Fighter 6 has sold over 3 million units since its launch in June of 2023. To give that some perspective, that makes it one of the best-selling fighting games of all time, and it actually makes it significantly better of a seller than Street Fighter V. When Street Fighter V launched, it took it nearly 3 years to sell 3 million copies. Yes, nearly 3 freaking years to get 3 million copies sold, and it took Street Fighter 6 only 7 months. Now you might say, well, is that an apples to apples comparison? Honestly, no, and here's why. They idiotically made Street Fighter V a PlayStation exclusive. It didn't have the advantage of having a triple platform launch. Now, eventually Street Fighter V was ported to PC, and a lot of its later life sales actually came from the PC version of the game. Okay? But at launch, it was just PlayStation 5, and that was such an incredibly boneheaded decision for them to do. Everyone agreed, too. That was really stupid. There was an installed customer base of people who'd been playing Street Fighter 4 on Xbox, and they ignored that customer base to get a deal with Sony that didn't benefit them at all in the long run. So, is it really a direct comparison? No, it's not. However, it is great news for the fighting game community. Most fighting games don't sell that much. Mortal Kombat didn't sell that much, all right? And now it's actually curious to see what is going to happen with Tekken 8. Because Tekken 8, I believe, is cross-platform at launch as well. Because it's definitely Xbox and PlayStation. I don't know if it's PC. It's definitely Xbox and PlayStation, okay? So, I guess we will see what happens. But, obviously, this is giant news for fighting games. Although it's funny, and here's why. In the perspective of stuff, it actually isn't that big of a seller when you think about it. Like, Spider-Man 2 sold way more than that. Like, Spider-Man 2 sold like 5 or some million within like the first few weeks. You know, most big AAA giant release games sell more than fighting games. Even though fighting games are prominent, popular, they're in pop culture, you hear about them all the time, you may not realize that they're just not as popular as they're meant to be or seem to be. And so to see Street Fighter 6 sell that well, even though it's not breaking sales numbers, is still great. That means it's a healthy atmosphere for the game. You know, the question now will be, what are the long-term sales of the game going to be? They have to keep it up with the DLC characters, with seasonal updates and the like. Will it keep the game alive, or is it going to fizzle out and die when competitors like Tekken 8 come out? We're going to have to see, okay? So that's at least good news for Capcom and Street Fighter 6 fans. Our second story of the day is absolutely ludicrous, and I apologize because I don't really have this for you, the picture. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get this for you. Okay? Because this is such a stupid story that I want to try to cover it as thoroughly as I can. And let me see if I can do this on the fly. Because what the fuck? Get this out of here. I want to... Here we go. Okay, hold on. What am I looking at? Okay, hold on. So let me see if I can get this into the broadcast here. Because this is a visual aid you absolutely have to see to really understand the story. Okay? So hold on one second. What is this? I don't even know what this is. Alright, let's just do this then. I think this will work. Okay. So watch this. You ready? I'm glad I just got this in there because this is perfect. So, Remedy, which is the game developer of Alan Wake 2, Control, Quantum Break, and other games, alright, has just rebranded with a brand new logo. They wanted to refresh their studio because of the success of Alan Wake 2, and now they're going to expand their efforts of game development. They made a new logo. This is it on the left. Rockstar Games has this logo on the right. I'm not shitting you. Rockstar Games lawyers today filed a suit against Remedy claiming that their new logo is too similar to theirs and it's going to cause confusion. Maybe if you're blind, right? Like, how can you not tell the difference between that and that? They don't look anything similar. The design is different. The coloring is different. The font is different. And it even fucking says Remedy at the bottom of their new logo. How the fuck could you think that that says Rockstar? If you think that's Rockstar's logo, alright, you probably think that a muffler of a car is a hookah pipe. And you should suck. I mean, what the hell, dude? I can't even believe this is real, but this is reality. Rockstar is frivolously suing. Why would you do that? You'd have to be moronic. You're not going to win. If anything, I think this is just trying to, like, cause some kind of a stir or something, like Rockstar getting some notoriety for it or something. I don't even know. I'm so confused that this is happening. It doesn't seem to make sense at all. You think that's similar? I don't know. Good Lord. That's all I have to say. There's nothing else to comment on this story. It's just stupidity. There's no way that a fucking lawyer actually thinks that looks like that. You'd have to be dumb. So I guess there's a lot of dumb lawyers out there then. I don't know what else to say. Let's continue. Oh, this is a good one. Let's actually do this one first. Remember that game we heard about last year, Foamstars? And everyone said, what the hell? It kind of looks like this weird party game that's a combination of like Splatoon from Nintendo with characters that look like they're from Fortnite, right? Like, it's the same premise. Instead of ink, it's supposed to be like colored foam that you spray around and you play with stuff like that, right? Foamstar. Well, guess what? It actually has a release date, February 6th. And guess what? If you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber of any tier, you don't have to be the premium tier, any tier, which most people are. If you play PlayStation games online, you have to have PS Plus, okay? You will get the game for free for 1 month. It'll go live on February 6th, and then it will turn off on March 4th. So essentially, you will get 1 month to try the game. Now, if you like the game and you want to continue to play it after March 4th, it is $29.99. So what's going to happen is everyone's going to play this game for a month, and then it's going to fade into oblivion, and no one will ever talk about it ever again. Because I can't think of a single person on this planet that would pay $29.99 for a Splatoon knockoff on Sony consoles. Like, who on earth would do that? So everyone, 1 month to play silly Foamstars. And you might say, well, will I check it out? I mean, it's free. Why wouldn't I do at least like a one-off stream with it to at least experiment with it and see what it is? It's free. But I doubt it's anything that's going to have any kind of longevity or something I'm really going to probably enjoy so much that I'm going to want to play more than just like a 1 or 2 sessions of, right? I mean, if the official Splatoon 3, did awful on this channel 2 years ago, people hated it, do you really think that Foamstars is going to do well? Probably not, right? But I'm just throwing that out there, okay? If you're interested, you're definitely going to want to check it out during the month when it's free. I can't imagine why you wouldn't get it when it's free, right? Okay. Here's the next story. And the thing is, normally I would end the news with a story like this. But there's actually a story that I feel is even worse than the story I'm about to tell. I know this is going to sound remarkable because when you hear the story, you're like, what could be worse than that? Oh, there's a worse story today, okay? But let's go through it. Today's second worst story. An Ubisoft executive who was being interviewed, all right, basically started talking about the long-term viability of subscription services and how they're going to become more viable. And that was actually one of the questions that was posed to the executive. They said, you know, right now you have Ubisoft Plus, but how are you going to market that and spin it to people that this is the what they want to do rather than just buying your games outright, right? And the executive, I kid you not, said the following. Ready? He says, gamers need to get comfortable with not buying and owning games. Seriously. He says, gamers need to start feeling comfortable with not owning any games that you play. That the subscription model makes it viable that you can play as many games as you want, but you don't actually own it, right? Now, what's funny is, after this executive said that, all right, the internet overnight exploded. Like this overnight, this is when this story happened, and everyone's going crazy. Oh my God, don't you see? This is the scam. This is exactly what they want from you. They want you to not own anything. They want you to always have to keep paying them the almighty dollar every month, whether or not you're actively playing their games or not, to have access to their games. This is Jasper saying this. To have access to their games, it's the evil corporate cycle, right, Jasper? Right. Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page about that. All right. However, I do have another thing to add to this. That's something that I've been saying for years, and I'm sorry to say, people are just kind of ignorant about the subject. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have news to break to you, and you may not be aware of this. I swear some people probably are not aware of this. You do not own any video games, particularly in this modern digital era. You own absolutely no video games. You know that collection you have over here to the side of your room or in your closet? You don't own those. I'm serious. That's not your property. I'm serious. People don't get that though. They're like, "Wait, what? I don't get that." Right? No, here's the deal. You own a license to play that software. That is what you own. You don't own the software. If you truly owned the software, you would have the right to copy and distribute or sell that software. Why is it that legally you cannot copy a game and give it to a friend or sell it on the internet? Because you don't own it. You just own the rights to play it. And it's always been like that. The only time I think that that's never been the case is back in the day when they used to have shareware. Do you remember shareware? That was when a game was free. Truly, that's why they called it shareware. They gave you the rights to copy and distribute it. They didn't care. They just wanted to get their names out there as game developers, and that's how it worked. Okay? But in the modern day, you don't own any games at all. If you own a disc, if you own a cartridge or a little memory card, if you own any version of a game, you just have the rights to play it. You don't have the rights to copy or sell it. That's the truth. Now, in reality, most or all game publishers, companies, and distributors don't enforce the rules. Meaning, right now, you could buy a video game and then go trade it in or resell it, and no one stops you. But, did you know it's against the rules? It is. Go check out any contract that you officially sign when you buy a video game, and it'll say right in the contract that you are not able to resell. It says it right in there. It's always said it, but no one enforces it. You know? So, that's the truth. People are freaking out when an executive says, well, people got to get used to the fact they don't own video games. What do you mean? What do you mean is that they're just reiterating the truth. They're reiterating the facts of what's true right now. You don't own any video games. You just think you do. There's been this misinformation campaign and mentality for so many years. People with giant walls of games think they own them. No, you don't. You don't. I don't get it, you know? Like, it's just kind of weird that there's these misinformation campaigns get spread, right? So, you know, it is what it is. What do I think about subscription services? In some cases, I think they're great. I think that if you get Ubisoft Plus or you get Game Pass or you get PS Plus, right? Or any of these others, because there's other companies that are now doing it. You know, whatever they'll be called. I'm sure one day they'll have the Rockstar Pass and they'll have shit like that, right? In fact, how much you want to get? Bet they'll call it Rockstar Pass. I almost guarantee you they will. That's because that kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? I get the feeling, just like now with Netflix, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Hulu, it's going to be the same. You have to subscribe to each individual company, publisher, whatever, and then you will get access to their catalog of games on demand in perpetuity unless something happens to change licensing rights. And this is actually what happened just recently. Was it Sony? It was one of these major companies had announced, oh, we're going to lose the rights to all these shows. So if you had bought them previously, you got to download them and keep them on your hard drives forever. If you don't, you'll never be able to watch the shows again because we're losing the rights to them. And then all of a sudden they went back on that and said, oh, we were able to extend the rights for like another 2 years or something like that, right? So that's the weird part. In reality, do you really own anything? I mean, if you say, well, I own a DVD set. Well, technically you do, and technically you can watch it whenever you want, but you can't copy it. You can't resell it. You're not allowed to. People still do, but legally you're not allowed to. There's just no enforcement. You see? So technically what the Ubisoft exec is saying is actually correct, and I don't like agreeing with executives. I hate Ubisoft. Yves Guillemot, I don't like that guy at all. I think he's a jerk. But it doesn't mean that when an executive says something like this, that it's not true. It actually is. And eventually what's going to happen is a few things will probably happen. I think eventually everything's going to go all digital. You're never going to see physical copies of games ever again. And that's going to kind of finally sever that mentality and connection between I own it because I hold it, right? If you can't hold it anymore, if every game now is full digital and you can't hold them anymore, technically you'll lose that feeling of physical ownership and that mentality might go away. And then a lot more people may actually feel like they now have a digital library or catalog only, and understand that the only way that that catalog persists or continues is if you keep doing some kind of a subscription fee, right? Again, it's going to be, I feel, the same as Netflix, Disney Plus, right? You have to pay that sub every month, and as long as you do, you still get the content. If you stop paying it, you'll lose the content. It seems like that's where we're headed. Now, overall, in the scheme of things, for someone who's a full-time gamer or someone who plays a ton of games, a hardcore gamer, these things benefit hugely. Game Pass, Ubisoft Plus, PS Plus, just by having those 3 subscriptions, you could get a ton of games a year that normally you would have bought outright, and you'll save money. It's true. But for a common gamer who maybe doesn't play games as often, maybe you see this as a ripoff. Man, you're telling me I got to subscribe to like 3 services a month just to get access to like 2 games that I want? I need PS Plus to play online. I need Ubisoft Plus to play the game, right? I get it. I can totally understand. And by the way, it is absolutely true that these companies at any moment's notice can just say, we remove a game from there, tough shit. Goodbye. Can't play it ever again. And what rights do you have to complain? 0. You have no rights to complain or do anything about it. That's just how it is, right? So the times they are a-changing, as they say. The thing is, we were already heading towards this direction for decades. It's just that people lived in denial. They felt that because they had their wall of games over here, that they owned the games, that was the way to go, when in reality, they never did. They want to believe the lie and think that everything is unicorns and rainbows, when in reality, we've been heading towards this all-digital age for a very long time, and there's not much you can do about it. Everything is going digital now. You either deal with it or you don't mess with that content. What else are you going to do? Shareware? I guess you're just going to play shareware games from now on. All right? So I'll see ya on your Commodore 64s playing the Chex PC video game, Chex Quest, killing the Soggies or whatever they were called or whatever, right? I'll see you on PC in the 1990s, I guess. Okay. All right. Now, if you thought that was the worst story of the day, you're wrong. There's a worse story. Are you ready for this one? Because I don't think I'm ready for this one. All right? In the last week, we've all been talking about how YouTube has been running poorly, correct? Now, when I say YouTube is running poorly, what I mean is when I'm using it on desktop. You know, every single day, here I have my dashboard open when I stream so I can monitor things like contributions, stream quality, how many views, how many likes, if we have super chats, if we have memberships, all of that. I can see stream chat. I look at all my videos and the status of my videos. I look at the main channel page. It allows me to see posts and things. You know, I monitor YouTube all day on my desktop computer. Okay? Now, I noticed all of a sudden, about a week ago, all of a sudden YouTube started running really slowly. If you didn't notice, when I went to play the music for the stream before we get to the podcast, I call it the pre-stream, or if we take a break and I play the music was getting choppy and was getting all messed up. And people were like, why is it doing that? I don't get it. And I was trying to figure it out, and I was like, I think YouTube's just running really slow. And then one day I went to upload videos, and the videos were uploading incredibly slowly. And I'm like, what's going on there? And everyone was like, there is a report site-wide on YouTube that the site's just running really slowly. And no one seems to be able to tell why, but it absolutely is happening, okay? So people did research over the week, and they found out what it is, and wait till you hear what this is. Your mind's going to be blown. Are you ready for this? Last year, YouTube said they were doing away with ad blockers, that from now on, ad blockers were not going to work on their site, and they made a coding change. Within 1 week, all the ad blockers updated, and they all block ads again on YouTube. Okay, so it was a completely failed effort. YouTube looked like they had egg all over their face, like, wow, you guys are jokers. You really thought you were so smart that you could block ad blockers. We'll just update, and now they work even better, right? So YouTube, without telling anyone, has done one of the most sneaky, underhanded, and in my opinion, possibly malicious things that I've ever heard of a major company doing. Are you ready for this? YouTube now will check to see if you're using an ad blocker. And if you are, get this, they are going to implement it so that if you run YouTube with an ad blocker on, your CPU usage will skyrocket through the fucking ceiling, causing your PC to overheat. I'm not making this up. This is happening right now, and I had no idea. Now, it just so happens, on my setup here, I have ad blocker for when I do things on DSPGaming. Why? Because I frequently play back my own videos, and my own videos have ads on them, and I don't want to see my own ads, right? I need to see the videos. So I have ad blocker on just that login. I have YouTube Premium, but I have YouTube Premium for DSP Reacts. Why? Because that's the show we watch every week, right? We're watching content, and I need to have no ads on that content so I could do a react show to it. So that's the account that I have a YouTube Premium for, right? So if I'm going to watch back content on YouTube, I log in as DSP Reacts, and then I watch it that way, okay? And that's how I don't get ads. So I have it. I have YouTube Premium. But just think about how dumb this is, right? If you have an ad blocker on, YouTube doesn't discern, doesn't care. It doesn't even care if you're watching your own page. If you have an ad blocker on right now, YouTube is artificially inflating its CPU use for your page, and it's making your all CPUs overheat. People are confirming this across the net. People are doing tests, and on average, if they disable their ad blockers, their CPU are running at 15 degrees cooler. So I have a question to ask, okay? I really have a question to ask. If someone has a PC and they're doing this and their PC overheats and breaks, is YouTube liable? Because it's intentionally malicious. It's intentionally malicious. They've organized and coded so that if you have an ad blocker, your computer will heat up. But that's a malicious action. So does that mean that someone could sue YouTube and say you destroyed my PC? Because you're a bunch of assholes? Like, it would have been one thing if they said, listen, we're doing this, so deal with it. If you use ad blocker, you're going to have a hot running PC, ha ha. But they didn't say shit to anyone. They just flipped the switch, and all of a sudden, for a week, everyone's YouTube's running slow. Come to find out, it's because of ad blocker. So I disabled my ad blocker here on DSPGaming. What I'm going to do now, from now on, when I play the music, I'm going to play it in a separate browser window under the DSP Reacts account. That will avoid ads. And that will avoid massive CPU use. Outside of that, I'm just going to leave ad blocker off whenever I'm on YouTube here in my main browser. And I guess I'm going to have to put up with the fact that if I try to play back my own video, it's going to play an ad, which I don't want to see. That's stupid, but there's nothing I can do about it, right? I want you to think about that, right? So here's the thing. It's so crazy because I was trying to like play the music and the whole PC was chugging. Then I was trying to upload videos and it was freezing. I'm like, so my business is affected because they couldn't fucking just say, hey, we're doing this. But I've told you guys this before. This is how YouTube operates. I'm not kidding you. The people who work at YouTube, particularly the management, actually think that they're smarter than everyone else on earth. They actually think that they're like this upper echelon brain trust, that they're so smart and special that they don't have to actually share their thoughts or mentalities or changes to the business at all until crap hits the fan. And they will never admit fault, and they never actually like go out and apologize for anything. It's a rarity if they do, right? This is all shit that they've done for 15 years. This has always been how they've operated, okay? So when I hear this today, I'm like, this is not surprising. I would believe there's 10 other things they've done in the last year that no one knows about that are very similar. They just do it and don't care about anybody. And then they got to clean up the mess after if something goes wrong, right? So that's just crazy to me, but this is true. Go right now on the internet and find it. You'll find there's a ton of articles about this. There's empirical evidence. People have tested and found that is absolutely what is going on. You know, I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, the thing is, that's it. Like, for me, ad blocker wasn't a big deal. Like I said, if I'm going to watch content on YouTube, I use my YouTube Premium account regardless. The only time I had ad blocker on was when I was in my DSP Gaming page so I don't see my own ads. That's it. But now I'm just going to turn it off. Like, what else am I going to do? Right? I just got to leave it off. And now everything's running super smoothly. Seriously, like, everything runs super smooth now. I can refresh any page. It instantly loads. Everything instantly shows up, no problem. It was Adblock. That is just amazing to me. That's crazy. It's crazy, but that's the reality we live in today, I guess. Right? All right, before we continue, I'm going to blow my nose, and then we're going to do shout-outs, and we're going to continue on with the show. Give me a second here. Okay. That's amazing. All right, here we go. Let's start off on the YouTube side of things. I want to say thank you to Fallen Angels, because Fallen Angels re-upped their membership this morning. And I want to say thank you to RAC, who gifted 5 memberships to the community. I am happy to confirm I know these went to active users. Angel of Vitality, Abu, Tommy Salami, Beans223, and Duke are all active chatters. So let's hope that those gifted memberships will actually count towards my total for the month. Even though they do get counted, I mean, I really hope that I get something out of it. Like I said, out of this 1,150 I have, I'm not kidding, probably about 500 of those I'm not getting paid for because of YouTube's policies. So that really sucks, but that's life, I guess. But those should count according to what YouTube told me, okay? So thank you guys for that. Our first tip of the day is a $2 tip from In Miami. It says, congratulations on your Throwback channel getting to the partner program. Thank you to In Miami for a $2 tip. And thank you very much for the congratulations as well. Yes, I'm happy it got in so fast because, like I said, they said it may take up to a month. And then it only took, like, less than a couple days, which is obviously excellent. It means that, I guess, for channels that have already been in the partner program, it's a quick review process, you know what I mean? It's not just taking their time doing it, which is good, obviously. So thank you for that. So that's the first tip we got for today. Right now, I'm not seeing any others. It doesn't mean we're not going to get any. But what I would say is, since we're got a little bit of a break here, if you guys have any questions you'd like to toss my way, any Q&A, you know, just tag me in the chat. We'll do a little bit of Q&A to settle in before we jump over to Resident Evil 0 Remastered today. Let's see what you guys want to talk about. What's on your minds? Let's hear it. What is on your minds? Yes, today's Resident Evil 0, as it says in the data of the stream, in the title of the stream, and on the thumbnail of the stream. Yes, I'm pretty sure. How am I enjoying Resident Evil 0? It is incredibly cryptic. It is incredibly frustrating. It's, of all the old school Resident Evils, probably my least favorite. But it's still a good game. Like, it's not a bad game. It's just the most frustrating because it has so much backtracking, and I'm playing it on hard, and you just don't have enough ammo to kill everything, and you have to really get lucky with certain runs and things. The inventory management is atrociously bad. It's definitely the worst inventory management I've seen in the series, where there's no storage boxes, and you have to leave items and backtrack and pick them up and drop them and pick them up and drop them. It sucks. Make no bones about it. It's too frustrating of a game, but that's why they didn't do this again. Like, after 0, the games actually became more quality of life improvement filled, right? So I really feel like this was their one misstep maybe in the classic ones. Although 3, I don't like Resident Evil 3. I feel like the game is rushed together, which it is. Everyone knows Resident Evil 3 was not supposed to be Resident Evil 3. It was supposed to be like a spin-off game, sold as like an expansion, but then it ended up being the whole thing when Code Veronica was delayed and was taking too long to be made. That became Resident Evil 3. But, you know, I still know people are enjoying it. I'm happy we're getting through it. I'm happy we unsoft locked. And what I was really happy about, 8 years ago in my first run, I was stuck in that room with the 2 hunters for like 45 minutes. I had to go in there with 0 health and just run in and try to dodge the hunters, grab the dial, and leave. In this case, I did it on the first try because I had health. I was like, done. So we never have to go in that room again. We're done. We passed it. So the soft lock of the first playthrough was already beaten, and now we're moving on. So it's good stuff. What's up, Cool Spot? Yeah, see, I agree with People Person. He says, I feel the same way, even with the frustration and tediousness. Something about the quality and detail of Resident Evil games keeps you going, even with 0. The atmosphere, the music, the design of the stage, how they look and everything. It's cool. It's creepy, you know? Absolutely. 100%. It's great. It's just the most frustrating of the great classics, you know? Cool. I received a $25 tip this morning from 1 Minute Man. He says, congrats on beating Grim. Thank you very much, 1 Minute Man. Yes, that was an incredibly annoying, tedious fight, but we got through it, and now we're going to reap the spoils, right, as they say. The other funny part about that, is, I kid you not, right? So I'm fighting the boss, and I'm frustrated, and as always, I always vent my frustrations when I'm doing something that's pissing me off. And we got people in the chat, oh, you should just leave and not do it then. It's optional. You don't have to do it. And I'm like, when in my life, in my 15 years as a YouTuber, have you ever known me to just give up and walk away on something that's challenging in a game? Have you ever seen that happen? Right? You know me. I'm the guy who beats his head against the wall trying to get past hard parts of games. I'm not a quitter. You know? Very rarely is there a situation where I'd be so frustrated at something that I would just give up on it. And even then, the few times that I've had, the infamous times, like the drug runs in Scarface or the final boss of Persona 3, I still went back and beat him later, right? Once I cooled down. So, absolutely, I find it hilarious that you got people who think that, oh, Phil should just quit then. When does that ever happen? Do you really think I'm going to give up on this? Fuck no, right? So there you go. Well, Matthew feels that if they ever remake Resident Evil 0, like a modern remake, it'll fix all the issues and it'll be much better of a game. You're probably right. I mean, there's a ton of issues with the game. Inventory management, aiming at everything that they could definitely improve. Andreas says, Act 3 bosses are not like Grim. I was worried people told you so. I don't know. I was reading right out of chat what people were saying. I don't know. I don't spoil myself. Billy J says, I believe wholeheartedly, if you played Resident Evil 0 on normal mode, you would have liked it much more. Maybe he said like a 7.5 out of 10. Hard mode just annoyingly makes it like a 5 or 6 out of 10 experience. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. But the thing was, I had originally played it 8 years ago on hard, so I guess people are like, if you've already played it on a more difficult run, you have to do that again. Don't ask me why, but that's what people were saying when I booted the game up, so. Lady Charisma, we already talked about all that. You missed it. You missed the segment. You got to go back and watch. We had a whole segment about the Ubisoft thing. Rugul says, yo, my man, I'm lurking here since the beginning. That YouTube thing is atrocious. People talked about it. I didn't know it was that ridiculous. Yeah, YouTube is literally making your PC run like shit and overheat if you have an ad blocker. I couldn't believe it because, like I said, I was trying to play music and none of it would load. And I'm like, why is it not loading? So I'm going to test it right now. You ready? So now I go here. Here it is, DSP songs. And it's loading, and I'm going to click on one. Ready? And it loads immediately. It literally loaded instantly. Instantly. The entire page loaded instantly. And it's playing fine, no problem, because my ad blocker's off. And this is just one day ago I was having issues. It wouldn't play the music at all. There you go. See? Confirmed. It's YouTube doing it actively and on purpose. That's pretty insane. Okay. What's up, RIC? He says, hope your day's going well. Thank you, RIC. Thank you for the gifted memberships. I appreciate that. People Person says, in my opinion, Code Veronica needs a remake far more than 0 or 5. Veronica doesn't even have modern visuals unlike the others, and it won the Capcom poll for a remake among fans. Right, they never did a remastered version, right? Like Resident Evil 0 Remastered is remastered from 8 years ago. But Code Veronica never got a remaster, right? It does play on, like, PS4, but it never got remastered. The visuals are outdated, correct? Jade, I'm so sorry to hear that. He says he couldn't really sleep last night, so he doesn't feel good, so he doesn't know if he's going to stay. If you stay, we're here for you, man, to chill. But if not, if you pass out, I hope you feel better. This sucks that you're so under the weather. It really sucks. I hope that you feel better. Radical Jaws. 13 months as a member. Thank you. He's playing Harvest Moon on the Switch. Have you played? Only played Harvest Moon very, very briefly. I want to say less than 2 hours. Many years ago. I'm trying to remember how I played it. I know I played it. But I can't remember how I played it. Was it on a handheld? Shit, it was ages upon ages ago. I definitely remember trying it. And remembering it was relaxing. This was before, like, me being a YouTuber doing chill streams, right? It was. Harvest Moon is like the OG relaxing game from way, way back when. Before they had games that were specifically designed, like Sunset, Sundew Valley, Stardew Valley. Before Stardew Valley, there was Harvest Moon, right? But for some odd reason, I literally cannot remember how I played it. But I remember thinking, wow, this is unique and different, right? Lady Charisma says, Code Veronica is definitely the black sheep of the series, never gets love. Ex-Hooligan saying, good morning, I'm using Translate Google to say hello. Argentinian Google does suspicious activity on our computer, so it's scary for people. Wow, I wonder what that means. Like, what are they doing? That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. But welcome to the stream. No, I'm not going to play Pal World Pokemon with guns. I don't think so. Unless you guys want me to. Rugal says, YouTube aside, about Resident Evil 0, I believe the devs expect players on hard to be kind knife experts. Yeah, the problem is the knife doesn't work. I tried using the knife at the beginning of the playthrough. It doesn't do anything. Like, literally, you can't hit the enemies. It just whiffs, and the enemy grabs you anyway. So it's not even like Resident Evil 1, the knife is super good. Like, the knife can be used for so much shit. In Resident Evil 0, it's like they made the knife like a butter knife. Like, you can't do anything with it, so I don't know what they were thinking there. Alright, JD says, maybe I'll see you tonight for Sea of Stars or tomorrow. Sounds good. I hope you feel better, man. Any games I'm excited for this year? RAC, we covered that kind of when we did the schedule update back for the Christmas Marathon. You know, obviously, I'm excited for a lot of games. The next 3 big ones for me are Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Tekken 8, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now, there's other games in between there, but really those are the big 3 coming out that I'm more excited for now. But there will be more after that for sure. Andy, not only do we have a giant segment about it in the news, we're also talking about it after the fact. You're just a little late to the game here today. Duke, I don't think that NFTs or blockchain would solve anyone's problem ever on this planet, for the record. So, okay. I got a few more tips here. Well, this person is saying, people are saying that it's not YouTube doing any malicious activity. People are now blaming the Adblock software specifically, right? But your argument falls flat on its face. Sorry. What you're saying is wrong, and here's why. People have been using Adblock software on YouTube for ages. Were their PCs always overheating? No. All of a sudden, now they are. Do you think the Adblock software actively chose to make people's PCs overheat? No. Obviously, a change on YouTube is creating that. So what you're saying is fact. It can't be true. Doesn't matter what your conspiracy says on the internet. It cannot be true. YouTube must have done some change, and whether or not it was intentional or not, it's making the Adblock software now make people's PCs run hot and run like shit. Period. The Adblock software didn't do an overnight change to fuck people's PC up on purpose. What are you talking about? You gotta love when people say shit like that. I received a $1 tip. One day in the summer or spring, we played Batman Arkham Origins. It's the only Batman game you didn't play. Wait, it's the only Batman game you only played once ever, or play one of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man games. I will see. I don't particularly think anything's going on with Batman or with Spider-Man this year that people would really want to see those games. Thanks for the tip. Okay. Abdullah, the Wolverine game leaked like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. That's old news. Iron Man the Power, how tedious was it to get all the spider bots in Spider-Man 2? As you know, that's the one thing I didn't do that kept me from the platinum. It was just too tedious for me, but I wonder how long it took you. Oh, excuse me. Any plans to play Warzone again? No. Warzone's terrible. Like, really, it's just not fun. I gave it a shot, and after playing it like 2 sessions, I was like, wow, I am so bored. I was literally like losing so much interest. My eyes were like, dip. Think about this. I'm playing an action-based first-person shooter, and I'm starting to fall asleep. That's terrible. You know, the multiplayer keeps me riveted, keeps me excited, gets the adrenaline flowing. You know, Warzone, I might as well just get a pillow and just sleep on stream. That's how fun it is. So I'm not wasting time with that crap. Andy says he spent specific time just getting the spider bots, and it took about 45 minutes. Gotcha. Oh, there's rumors about the Elden Ring DLC. Like, there's a rumor that, I guess there was a patch to Elden Ring on PC on Steam, and people looked at it and says, wow, it's actually a giant patch. What could it be? And when you look at the notes, there's no updates. And people are like, it's got to be the DLC. Like, it must be the DLC. And now they're going to maybe announce a date or something soon. But that's just a rumor. It's just people, you know, speculating. So, all right, RIC, I'll see you later. Thank you so much, man, for chilling and for the support. Appreciate it. Again, guys, as we are getting ready to adjourn, be sure to vote on what you want to see as the first stream ever on DSP Throwback. Do you want it to be a chill hangout session where I reminisce about the old days of being a YouTuber and maybe do a tiny bit of classic gaming? Do you want to see it be me live reacting to the Final Fantasy 13 playthrough? Or do you want to see it me being live reacting to the Red Dead playthrough that's on the channel? Like, what would you prefer to see? Please vote. The poll is live on the main channel page of DSP Throwback. And right now there's like 250 votes, but literally it's being determined by like 5 votes. So your votes make a giant difference, and that poll will be running into the weekend, and likely maybe Sunday night will be when I do my first stream over there. Okay? Well, People Person's throwing out playthrough ideas. Particularly, I don't think we need any playthrough ideas right now. We got more than enough to do for the next week, and that's going to take us into the new releases. But he says games he'd like to see: Talos Principle 1 and its DLC, then 2, or Cocoon, from the people who made Limbo Inside. And, of course, the Holy Grail will be Metal Gear Solid 1 Replay run on PS5 this time. It does annoy me that if I buy Metal Gear Solid 1, first of all, how much does it even cost, right? Let's find out. I'm literally sitting right here. So if I go to Metal Gear Solid 1, right? See, they have the collection. I don't want the collection. So, the collection is $60. All I see is the collection. I don't see it being sold separately. Because I don't want this collection. A 2 and 3 I already own and can play right now. I don't want to waste money buying the collection. I want just one, and apparently they're saying you can't just buy one. Yeah, from what I can see, it's only being sold as the collection. That's a huge ripoff. Because I don't want to play 2 and 3. 3, why on earth would I want 3 again? They're remaking 3 fully. A much better version, so why would I want that version? I'd be stupid. And 2, I actually just recently replayed a few years ago. So, it's not there listed by itself. I'm on PS5 right now, and it's not there. Yeah, I don't know. People person says when it does go on sale, it's usually $40. Yeah, right now it's 60. Lady Charisma says if you get Duck Station and you put it on your mini PC, Metal Gear Solid 1 would be better than the collection. Really? So it's like a PS1 emulator. Fallen Angels is claiming it's on there for $16. Not for me. I literally just searched, and all I had was the collection, 4, 5, and 5's expansions, and that's it. It didn't have it. I just searched manually. It's not there on USPSN. It's unless you can tell me specifically what to search for. I didn't see it. No, I'm not doing a DMZ mode for Call of Duty. If we occasionally play Call of Duty, it'll just be Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer. That's it. That's the only content I'm doing in that game moving forward. I think it depends on what region you live in. Are you guys who say, or you're saying that you see it on there, are you in the US? Because I don't see it on there. It's under editions. Editions. There was no editions. I'm on the store right now. I go to search. All right? Okay. I'm going to type in search, Metal space Gear. Okay? I'm going to hit done. What pops up is Metal Gear Survive, the Metal Gear Solid 1 collection, Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater just announced, can't buy it yet. Metal Gear Solid 5, 5 Ground Zeroes, 5 Phantom Pain, Twisted Metal. And that's it. So now if I go to the collection and I click on it, $59.99. Okay? I scroll all the way down. That's it. Discover more games like this. And then it's got game and legal info, ratings, official news, media. That's it. There's nothing else. I just found it. They hid it in a submenu. So when you're in that menu, you have to go to the right to the 3 dots. When you click on 3 dots, all these different options open up. Follow, Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, personalization settings, and health rating, privacy, and terms. Why would you think that the individual games would be listed there? Why did they do it like that? To fool you so you'd buy the whole bundle. That's exactly why they did it like that. It's a hidden submenu. Wow. So now I can see them all. So Metal Gear Solid 1 is $15.99. Originally it was $19.99, but they reduced the price. Metal Gear Solid 2 is also $15.99. And Metal Gear Solid 3 is $19.99. The one that they're going to remake is more expensive. By the way, the save 20% offer is only good until tomorrow. And then the price apparently goes back up to the full $19.99. Well, I have no plans on playing this anytime soon, so I'm not going to buy it now. But maybe eventually I would, but right now I'm definitely not getting it. But it's a good suggestion. I know people want to see me eventually play it. People have said that it's just a PS1 emulator running on PS5, which is kind of funny. Sheesh. Right, I want to get out of here now. I want to back out. Back out. Back out. Sheesh. Okay. Shout out to... hold on. Oh my God. I felt that one coming, and I wanted to bend over and get out of the way. So I didn't do it directly into the microphone. I'm very sorry about that. I received a super chat from Tom. Ugh. I want to make sure I'm translating it right. I think I'm close to translating what it means. But let's see here. So, Tom did a super chat. He says, Phil, I love your videos, and I just want to thank you for them. So there you go. You're welcome, Tom. I appreciate that very much. Thank you very much for the super chat. Okay. In fact, that's the first super chat of the day. So thank you, Tom, for the very first super chat of the day. Remember, best way to support the stream right now would be super chats, super stickers, super thanks, or tips. Sadly, anyone who does a bunch of gifted memberships, there's a chance they won't even count towards the channel, because the way YouTube's gifted memberships work is that if they don't, if let's say you gift 50, a bunch of them will go out to accounts that aren't even on the stream, and if those accounts don't log in to claim them, the streamer doesn't get credit. And I know that sounds bad, because it is. That's an insanely bad business model. If someone buys something to support someone, they should just get it, right? But instead, YouTube's mentality is if it doesn't actually get actively assigned, it gets refunded. So here I am sitting on 1,150 members, and in reality, I only have probably about 650 real members, and the other 500 are fake, and people that didn't get them, and I'm not getting paid for them. It's absolutely stupid, right? It's funny because someone just said, well, can't YouTube re-gift? I mean, you're talking to the wrong person. You know, you really are. YouTube is stupid in the way that this works. Should they re-gift? Yeah. Should they find someone who actively wants those memberships and give them to them? Yes. Are they doing that? No. They don't care. They're just keeping them in limbo. Yeah. It's shitty. Right now, I'm not kidding you. My revenue this month is so low compared to last month on this channel. It's terrible. And is it because of views? No, my views are the same. Is it because of watch time? No, my watch time is the same. It's because YouTube didn't sell ads this month. So because there's no ad revenue on the channel, my revenue is way down. Now, if YouTube actually paid me for my subscribers, for these memberships, which I earned, actually my revenue would skyrocket and go back to what it was last month. Seriously, if I got credit for all of those, I'd be about on par with what I was in December. But right now, I'm way low because YouTube won't fucking pay me. They're literally ripping me off. I don't even know what else to say. That's just bullshit. You know, that's a horrible way to operate your business. I can't believe that's how they operate it. But I can't make them improve it. All I can say is, if you like the content, please support it via super chats or tips. Because right now, the memberships they're in limbo, and no one's really getting those. Well, you know who else really is kind of getting screwed here? Nikita. Whoever Nikita is, because we don't know. Like, they did 400 gifted memberships, most of which didn't get assigned to anyone. So now they're sitting in limbo. Are they going to get refunded? Like, that's messed up. They're just sitting there, and I'm sure they had to pay for it up front. So now I don't get anything, and you know, what is that bullshit? That's terrible. Anyway, I guess we'll see what happens moving forward. My hope is that with the new games next week, that last week I'll get a boost on the channel. I'll get more people coming by, more viewers. Maybe some of the viewers who actually got gifted those memberships and haven't logged in will actually come by for either Like a Dragon or Tekken 8, and then they'll get the memberships and they'll count. Maybe I'll get like a big boost of support at that last week, because the people who's waiting, right, they might get them now. And like, wow, that would be great. That would help a ton. Because right now, things are not good with how it's going. Like, it's not my fault. I did nothing wrong. My content's good. People are supporting it. YouTube won't pay me for what I earned. It's pretty messed up. No, I fully believe that YouTube will eventually refund, probably, to whoever Nikita is. I think that will happen. People Person says, the final season of Curb had its trailer release. So old now. What season did you get up to the show? I don't even remember. I don't even remember what the last season was that I watched. I watched a ton of it last year on Max, but I don't think I watched it all. But I watched a ton of it. Fallen Angel says, I'm looking forward to Tekken 8. It's not a game I would play myself. I'm going to live it through you. Well, there you go. I'll definitely be playing the story mode. I'll definitely be trying characters and picking them online. The arcade mode is intriguing. The arcade mode is like a simulation of you actually playing in arcades and then actually like going to different arcades with better players and getting better and entering real tournaments and stuff. It's a very unique sim. I would say for someone learning the game, that's a great way to get into it. But I don't know how riveting of content that would be for streams. Like, I would enjoy playing through that mode because that's like a slow build of getting better with a character and stuff. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. All right, guys, it's actually getting late. I lost track of time. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the show. I think it's time to end the podcast. I want to say thank you for chilling with me, and those who did support the stream so far this morning, thank you for that. It is now time to wrap it up and to get ready for Resident Evil 0 Remastered heading into the end game. Thank you all so very much. Wow, this picture is appropriate because this is what it was like here this last weekend. Seriously, it was that cold. All right, guys. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you so much for hanging out with me, enjoying the news. Thank you for all your support. I hope you'll check out DSP Throwback now that we're getting to the point where it's going into high swing over there. And I'm excited. Thank you guys, and I will see you tomorrow for my final streaming day of the week. Peace out.